Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss about Dronacharya, the teacher of the Pandavas, Kauravas, Panchalas, Kurus, and all those who were quite good in their skills. And the topic is Dronacharya, the teacher with agenda. When the battle of Kurukshetra was about to begin, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. After hearing the Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, my confusion, my illusion has been gone. Nashto moha, smritir labdva. I have gained my power of discretion. And therefore, I will do as you guide me. So Krishna spoke this to Arjuna, and Arjuna was ready to fight. And suddenly what happened was, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he got down from the chariot. He got down from the chariot and he started walking towards the opposite party, the Kauravas. So everyone was stuck, everyone was surprised that why is he doing like this? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj, as suspected that he had the natural inclination towards reluctance in taking leadership. His mind will always go towards giving up things, worldly things. And therefore, when Krishna, after completing the peace message, which did not work in anybody's favor, so he met Kunti, and Kunti had told Krishna to give the message that my son has a natural inclination towards, Brahminical life. Analyze everything and not do anything. Right. So she said, tell him that he is the son of a Kshatrani. Because he is born in the womb of a Kshatriya and he has the responsibility to give justice to the entire world. Can you imagine? Because Draupadi was a queen of the entire country. She was Samragyi. And that Draupadi was dragged in the court. If this was the condition of a royal family, what to speak of other women in the ruling of Duryodhan? And people say Duryodhan was very good. Ek Rani, one queen had to go through this, and not in an isolated place, in the place where all the great personalities were watching this. So he could analyze that also. It is my responsibility because of this happened. Therefore, there is no point in retaliating. So Kunti, she told him not about revenge, it's about justice. It's not about Draupadi, it's about the entire system. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj started walking towards the Kuru army, everyone was taken aback. Kauravas were celebrating and the Pandavas were shocked. Especially Bhima became extremely disturbed and restless. He asked Krishna, what's happening? Arjuna asked Krishna, what's happening? And Krishna said, don't worry. Yudhishthira is going to take blessings from his superiors. Even to fight, he is taking blessings. He said, don't worry, keep watching. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj comes, he goes to Bhishma, then he comes to Dronacharya. When he comes to Dronacharya, he seeks his blessings. I will narrate one side of the story. When we come to Yudhishthira, we'll tell the whole story. He offered his obeisances to Dronacharya. He said, please Acharya, bless us that we will be victorious in this battle against the Kurus. Dronacharya raised his hand And he said, my dear child, if you had not come to me, I would curse you. You have come to me, I bless you, that you will be victorious in this battle. But Dronacharya made an pertinent point. And that is what defines his entire psychology. He spoke to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, my dear Yudhishthira, what can I do? He said, Artha in this case, in case means Dronacharya's case, because we discussed in the first day, there is a dhvani, there is a context, there is a feeling, there is an entire history behind what kind of word you use. So Drona said, I was the servant of Artha. मैं पैसे का दास था. I had become the servant of money. Money is nobody's servant. Therefore, I am fighting on behalf of the Kurus. He confessed in front of his own student. And that was the entire life of Dronacharya. The agenda. What was the agenda? The agenda of Drona was to practice dharma properly, one needs a minimum level of material security. What caused Acharya Drona to become a teacher with an agenda? Poverty in living conditions, ambition for friendship. The entire Kurukshetra war, in one sense, was planted by Dronacharya. No? Someone said, I think it was T.S. Eliot, he said, don't talk about the blunders of ordinary people, because they do. The ordinary people, Samanya Janata, they do blunders and it causes trouble. But he said, when a great personality does a small blunder, it has a Himalayan effect. He said, let us talk about the blunder of the great personalities. Not to condemn them, not to slander them, but to critically think for the future legacy. It is but natural that the so-called intelligent people will condemn everything what they see as primitive. They don't see any good in the primitive culture. The bygone ages, women were oppressed, violently treated. To make such a blatant statement without seeing other side is quite common amongst so-called intellectual people. Therefore, someone said, nobody should be completely slandered and nobody should be completely flattered. Flattery and slander, they are in themselves big adharma. What one should do to learn a lesson of life is to critically analyze. And for critical thinking, it is not that you have to be that. Someone said, unless you are expert in that field, how can you criticize? How can you give opinion? You don't have to be a carpenter to say the table is not functioning. The table is not functioning. You don't have to have a qualification of being a carpenter. You can say it's not working because you know how to use it. You may not be a mechanical engineer, but if the car is not functioning, you don't have to have a degree of mechanical engineering to say that car is not functioning properly. You don't have to be an expert cook to say there is no salt in this meal. So therefore, when you see the effect of something, you have the right, whether it is Mahatma Gandhi or it is anybody for that matter. Right. So therefore, critical thinking is very important. So Dronacharya spoke this honestly, spontaneously, consciously or unconsciously, we don't know. But he told Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said, Yudhishthira, what can we do? What can I do? He said, I am the servant of Artha and Artha is nobody's servant. Therefore, I am on the side of Kurus, the Kauravas, Duryodhan. It is said that he gave his body, his skills to the Kauravas and his blessing to the Pandavas. Such a split personality, in one sense, do not contribute to anybody. They don't contribute to anybody because integration has to be there. Mind, heart, and intelligence. And the body, of course. So we will study Drona for what he is and his contribution to the Pandavas. And what was his agenda, as we discussed? Poverty in living conditions, ambition for friendship. In the Ramayana, Lord Ramachandra told Bharat, very pertinent, very important. Because Prabhupada explains in one place, poverty destroys all your good qualities. Whatever good qualities you have, but along with that you have extreme degree of poverty, what does it do? All those good qualities are like locked in the museum. When you go to museum, everything what you see in the museum, if you go to whichever country, South Africa, Australia, whichever country you go, when you see the native culture is locked up in the museum. It is not part of the regular interactions. Right? Whatever noble things are there, wow, you say, but it is not part of the life. Similarly, good qualities with utter poverty is nothing but part of the museum piece. This is the reality of life. So therefore, Chanakya Pandit explains in his Artha Shastra, he said, what is the dharmasya moolam artha? Just imagine, the root of dharma is in artha. So what happened with Dronacharya was, unfortunately for whatever reason, he had all the skills, extremely powerful, but he had to experience utter poverty. To the extent in those times, 5,000 years ago, you can imagine he couldn't afford cow's milk to give for his son. Not accidentally, but he couldn't afford cow's milk, therefore he would give him, the wheat flour mixed in the water and impose this understanding in Ashwathama, this is milk. That is called as samskaras. You are drinking ordinary wheat and you are thinking it is a milk. Right? Because he had the understanding of the milk, but he had never experienced the milk. So every day Ashwathama would drink milk. That was the poverty condition of Dronacharya. And second was extreme degree of ambition in regards to imposing friendship on someone who outrightly rejected Dronacharya as his friend. And who he wanted his friend to be? Drona was completely poor, but he wanted the friendship of the king of Panchal, Drupad Maharaj. Therefore, in a family where there is a common sense, they always say, apne awqat pe raho. Barabar na? Somebody sent me a joke. Somebody is asking this question to this Apple Siri. Where should I stay? In London or New York? The Siri said, apne awqat mein raho. So Drona, his ambition to stay with Drupad was an extremely wrong expectation on his part. We'll discuss that. When he became a teacher, what did he teach? We discussed on the first day, he did not teach anything other than warfare. He taught them skill. He taught archery. He taught mace fighting. He taught little politics. But along with that, he did not give them the purpose behind it. He taught them the skill, but he did not build the character. Therefore, even though Kuru and the Pandavas studied under the same teacher, both families did not change their characters. The Pandavas remained what they learned from their mother and the sages, and the Kurus remained what they learned from their father and mother, envious, arrogant. So therefore, it is important, no school in the modern world, what to speak of teaching you character, they destroy whatever character parents had given whatsoever, if they had given anything. So you can imagine the deeply rooted character what Pandavas learned, and Dronacharya could not change them even though he misbehaved against the Pandavas. He took special interest in archery when it was not emergency. Not only became a teacher of archery, but he became an active participant in war. There is a difference between teaching management and becoming a manager. It is a difference between a teacher teaching politics in the college and entering into politics. Therefore, in the Vedic literature, there is a beautiful understanding given. Bhishma Dev in the Anushasana Parva. Anushasana Parva is all about administration. The great Bhishma is lying on the bed of arrows, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking hundreds and hundreds of questions in regards to practicalities of life. To such an extent he is asking question to Bhishma. He says, my dear Pitamaha, my grandfather, he said both daughter and son belong to the father and mother, but why daughter does not inherit the property of her father? Can you imagine? These kind of questions are there. And what an answer Bhishma Dev gives. About dowry he speaks. The word dowry does not exist. No, there is no equivalent word exist in the Mahabharata about word dowry. Varadakshina, right, in the south, Maharashtra mein bhi bol lete. Varadakshina means giving dakshina to the bridegroom does not exist. Kanya Dan is there. कन्या को देने के लिए सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है. हाँ, पुरुष को भी मिल जाता है. Even a man gets. It's a brilliant answer. Yudhishthira Maharaj listens from Bhishma Dev. Maybe this is not the right time to speak because we'll focus on Dronacharya. Therefore, I made this PPT. Because Mahabharata is like an ocean, you just get lost. So to control myself, otherwise PPT is very artificial for me. Birth and background, he was the son of Bharadwaj Rishi. Bharadwaj Rishi is the same Rishi who learned the entire Ramayana under the Guru, Valmiki Maharshi. So he was not an ordinary background. But the birth of Dronacharya was also a kind of caused by, basically it was caused by test and temptation. We'll discuss that. Now, Drona means a container to collect the somaras. The word Drona is a container, but what kind of container? Nowadays Drona में कुछ भी डालते हैं हम लोग. चुन्ना भी डाल लेते और स्वीट राइस भी डाल लेते. But Drona means it was a container to specially collect somaras. Now somaras is a special juice which is used for performing Soma Yagya. The word is Soma Yaji. Some Brahmanas have this surname called as Soma Yaji because they were expert in performing Soma Yagya. Some Brahmanas who became the Prime Minister of India, Vajpayee, it is not name, it is the name of Yagya. No? So his ancestors were performing this kind of Yagya. So Soma means that Drona would be collected, and eventually it became one of the aspect of measurement in practice. He was married to Kripi, the sister of Kripacharya, the children of Shatadhvana Rishi. So their life was also their birth was accidental. When Rishi, was tempted by some Apsara, and after the birth, they were raised by Kripacharya, and Kripi were raised by Shantanu, the father of Bhishma Dev. So they were Brahmanas, but were raised by a Kshatriya king in the royal palace. Therefore, Kripacharya, even though he was a Purohit, during the war, he actually actively took part in the battlefield against the Kauravas, as we discussed yesterday, and he stopped all the Pandava warriors from entering and protecting the sons of Pandavas, and Ashwathama slaughtered all the 5 sons, and Kripacharya was involved. Drona received the samskar of Kshatriya from Bharadwaj and Agnivesh. His son Ashwathama got his samskaras from Kripi, who was raised in Shantanu's care. Even though he was a Brahmana, as I said, but what happened? There was a covering of a Kshatriya. Therefore, Bhishma explains, a Brahmana should inspire Kshatriya, and a Kshatriya should protect a Brahmana. When a Brahmana controls or imposes his ideas on a Kshatriya, then what happens? A Kshatriya ceases to be a Kshatriya. But if a Kshatriya is not guided by a Brahmana, what happens? He loses the inner saintliness, the reflective side, and he simply becomes brutal. Rajarshi means what? Rajarshi means he is a warrior from outside and a saint from inside. And the saintliness, where does it come from? It comes from an enlightened teacher who is continuously guiding but not controlling. He talks to them about non-violence as a principle, but not necessarily as an application all the time. And therefore, when they are coronated, when Shapat Vidhi, Pratigya Vidhi would happen, it is explained the Mahamantri, his nakshatra timing would be different to be coronated. That nakshatra had to be affected by Brahminical, intellectual side, less Shukra. It has to be more Buddha and Guru. And for a Kshatriya, when he is coronated, his nakshatra is different. It has to be flavored with, power to take action against the enemies. But when the same person, both of them are basically coronated on the same day, they try to control each other. Someone said, therefore, the concept of being the head priest and the king simultaneously. If you study Vatican, Pope is a head priest. He is the highest spiritual authority, and at the same time he is the king of Vatican. When a same person starts playing both role, all-roundership has to be extremely rare. When we say, I'm a multitasking. No, multitasking means you will confuse yourself and you will confuse others also. Multitasking emergency is okay. One should know, one should be jack of all trade. But at the same time, one should be master of some aspects of life. Otherwise, what happens when we try to do everything thinking that I am expert in everything, it is guaranteed that that civilization and that system, that company will collapse. Therefore, Bhishma, when he speaks to Yudhishthir, what does he say? He said, in a cabinet, there should be 3 people who have the intellectual disposition. There should be 11 people who have the administrative disposition, action centric. And he said there should be 21 people who have the disposition towards looking for opportunity to grow the treasury of the country. There should be 4 people who are very enterprising in regards to actually making it happen, action centric. And then there should be 1 person who has the ability to reconcile all of these people. Now, Sumantara was that personality. And what is Sumantara's position? Sumantara is not a Brahmana. He is not a Kshatriya. He is not a Vaishya. He is not a Shudra. In fact, Sumantara was from the mixed caste. The word caste does not exist anywhere in the scripture, anything close to that. The whole thought process in the Vedic literature is, it's a back and forth. It's like a watery, it's a flowing concept. It's not like a frozen concept. So he had the courage, he had the power to deal with the Brahmanas, deal with the Kshatriyas, deal with the Vaishyas, deal with the Shudras in such a way that they are not competing with each other. How much primitive we have become presently while talking about progressiveness. You go to any part, the society is structured based upon privileges. You call it in a different name, that's all. In India, we call it as a caste. Caste politics is, in your certificate you have to write your caste name. If you want to contest the election, there may be a great politician, has a great courage to rule, but it will be seen whether his caste has a greater number in the state or not. The number is only 3%, there is no chance of he ever becoming a chief minister. It has to be at least more than 23%. Vakkaliga and Lingayat. No? In Maharashtra, Marathas, Malis. In Gujarat, Patel. Patel ke bina kuch hota hi nahi hai. Right. In Haryana, Jat, Jassi. But this is what? We have become more primitive, and then we slander the scripture for being what they are without studying properly. Gandhari consciousness is to understand wrongly and curse Krishna without even studying properly. So Dronacharya was overlapping his Brahmanatva and Kshatriyatva, never played the role of Brahmana, only acted as a Kshatriya. The power of Varna Sankara is seen through the life of Drona. The cause of war between Kuru and Panchal, everyone was destroyed, including Drona's very own son Ashwathama. He was not killed, we'll discuss that. Brahmana Kshatriya, when mixed in an unnatural way, causes destruction due to lack of cooperation. Varna Sankara. That was Dronacharya. Ashwathama's and cow's milk. Drona insulted by Drupad. What happened was, Dronacharya was studying with his Drupad in the school, in Gurukul. Now how Gurukul was designed, why Gurukul was only specially actively meant for Brahmanas and Kshatriyas? That one accusation always is there. Originally in India, Gurukuls were not meant for other communities. It was only meant for the higher communities. Why like that? Because a Guru's ashram, Gurukul, was a place where there was extreme degree of simplicity. And both the royalty, the Brahmanical people and the royal people, because living with their parents, seeing how much they are respected, that would be an intoxication for them in their early childhood. So when they would become 5 to 7 year old, naturally they would go to their Guru's ashram, and what they had to do in Guru's ashram, a Guru's ashram was not like an international school. Privilege means what people think, oh, it's a king's royal Gurukul, that means it has got great privileges. I went to one school to give a talk, and it was an international school, high fees, and I met a coordinator, and he showed me one boy. He had 9 security guards in the school. He said, this is not security, it is an imprisonment. A child cannot wander here and there and experience childhood. It is a great misfortune for someone to be born in such a family and lose all sensitivity of your surrounding. So therefore, such royal children would go to Guru's ashram, and in those times, kidnapping would not happen. No. So the children, whether it is Krishna or Sudama, when they came to Sandipani Mudin ashram, who is Krishna? Krishna is from royal family. And who is Sudama? Sudama was a poor Brahmana. And they were staying together. And it was not that Krishna got a privilege, the Guru's wife, knowing very well that in the future I will fulfill my agenda, let me feed a special food to Krishna. Whether it is Krishna or Sudama, everyone had to go to a house to beg. And not to the same home. You beg 5 homes or 6, whatever, and next day you would not go to that same home. Go to the next set of homes. So where is the question of you becoming attached to some people? You learn the art of limitless diversity. There is a school in south near Mangalore. We had gone, it's a Gurukul. But not exactly Gurukul, it's a semi-Gurukul. And the in charge was telling us, every month for 3 days we send our children to beg. I said, what, you send them to beg? He said, yeah, we send them to beg in the nearby villages. When they go to beg, he said, what do they learn? The first thing, they learn the art of communicating with people. To talk to people. And when they see there are rich people, he said, sometime he said, children coming from a poor family, they feel all rich are bad. And all poor are good. Again, this is called as wrong understanding. He said, when they go, they find some nasty wealthy people and some gracious wealthy people. They realize people are not good and bad based upon their resources. And they go to poor people. Some poor people, they extend so graciously. If they only 1 kilo of rice, they get raw materials, not cooked food. They get rice, dal, sugar, good, like that. And when they beg for 3 days, the entire monthly ration is collected from these people. So they don't have to buy. So that was the process. What was the science behind it? Without even understanding the science behind it, if you study any of our textbook, after writing, researching and everything, what do you learn? You learn the principle of there was a disparity in education. The wealthy were privileged. Poor had to go through all the difficulties. Only higher communities were given education. No, education was available everywhere. But the point is, when you are from a royal family, respectable family, it was better for the children to go and experience the other side of the life also. And after being there 12 years, when they would come back, what would happen to them? There was a complete transformation of the consciousness. Right? But what happened was, we'll come back to Drona and Drupad. So Drona and Drupad became very close friends. And in childhood, when you become very close friend, a rich child does not have that discrimination if the surrounding is all equal to everybody. They eat everything what others eat. They play with whatever they have. They don't carry their carom board, they don't carry their chess board, they don't carry their cricket kit. It's all whatever they have, they play. So Dronacharya and Drupad became very close friend, and Drupad said he spoke the concept of Advaita philosophy in experience. He said, there is no difference between you and me, we are one because we are so close to each other. He said, whatever belongs to me will be yours. He said, my dear friend, when I grow up and take over the Father's kingdom, I will give you half of my kingdom. Drupad spoke this to Dronacharya with great affection and happiness. The problem was Drona was too simplistic. And he kept that in his mind, that my friend has given me this, not promise, spoken with such a heart. And as he was growing, some other Dronacharya basically continued to remain completely poor. Whatever he did, he learned all the Vedas, but he did not earn anything. Then eventually came to, our Parshuramji came to Parshuram. He said, Parshuram asked him, what do you want from me? And he said, I want unlimited wealth. Just imagine, Dronacharya said, I want unlimited wealth. And then Parshuram told him, look, I have given everything in charity. I have nothing to give other than weapons. Do you want it? So Dronacharya said, okay, I will take weapons. So he took weapons. So when he took weapons, so what they say, it is explained that because Drona learned from Parshuram, the Kshatriyas were afraid of taking him. Because Parshuram had destroyed the Kshatriyas 21 times. आपने उनके संग किया. And because our Dronacharya was working with all the Kshatriyas in regards to Kshatriyatva, not working with Kshatriyas, learning all the weapons, the Brahmana said, he is not doing his duty. What happened? Na ghar ka, na ghat ka. So therefore, he could never had any sponsors. A Brahmana requires a sponsor, a Patel, a Patil, a Deshpande, a Desai, or a king. Because they don't earn anything. They are not supposed to earn anything. Whatever they are doing, their family's care will be taken by the king. So then Drona, in one incident when he was giving milk to his son, which was nothing but wheat or whatever flour mixed in the water. One day Dronacharya's son Ashwathama met with some of his friends and they were actually drinking real cow's milk. Just like till I came to ISKCON, I didn't know what paneer was. And I know many Punjabi devotees, they didn't know what Srikhand was. Because that time internet, nothing was there. Nowadays people place their cooking on live Facebook. Right. For you to get a news of Mumbai, you have to wait for next day newspaper. Now if you are in Bolivia, you will get to know what's happening in Belgaum also. No? So the communication has become so fast. So Dronacharya's son was so innocent, when he got to drink the real milk, he realized, oh my God, this milk is real milk and my father was giving me wrong milk. And he came back home to his father, and his mother and father gave him the milk. He said, I will not accept this. This is not correct. You are not giving me the real milk. I want milk. And Dronacharya could not afford a cow also. He went around looking for some resources he did not get. Then he reminded himself, oh, my friend had told me that he will give me half of the kingdom. This is the difference between Dronacharya and Sudama. Sudama had complete conviction, Krishna will give me his life. But he said, I will not ask from him. And Dronacharya had a wrong expectation that my friend had promised. Chanakya says, the jati of politicians is that They forget their own mother if she is causing the trouble to their growth. They will ask, who are you? And the next day, the worst of the enemy can become their best of the friend also. He said that is how politics works. So, Dronacharya came with great expectation without having the common sense of life. Sudama never, his wife forced him, go, 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 don't ask, at least take some gift. When he came to Krishna, what he did? He didn't ask anything from Krishna, and Krishna did not give anything to him. Whatever Krishna had given him to wear his clothes, that also Krishna took away. And he took all the chipped rice what Sudama had brought. And he said, friend, we enjoyed your friendship, very good, now you go home. And when Sudama was going back home, he did not curse Krishna, saying, what a friend he is, kuch bhi nahi diya. Rather, Sudama was saying, what is my good fortune? Who am I? He said, I am the most poverty-stricken Brahmana, and Krishna is the husband of goddess of fortune, but he treated me like a king. And what Krishna was thinking, he said, Sudama gave me chipped rice, what can I give him back? It is like someone gives you a Mercedes car as a gift. No. But what will you give back? A matchbox? That is not you can't be comparing with that. So Krishna was thinking the chipped rice was much, much better than what I could ever give to him. So therefore Krishna on the background gave him everything. But Dronacharya came to his friend and he said, my dear friend, do you recognize me? Of course he recognized him. He said, what can I do for you? Because he's the king now. And unfortunately, Dronacharya, he said, I want your friendship. He said, friendship with you? He said, what is your caliber? What is your position? And he explains, friendship is caused by natural. No, there is a spontaneous relationship. He said, I don't have with you. Friendship happens because of truth also. Material wealth, because both people have prosperity, or because one person has the prosperity and therefore you make friendship. And powerful influence. And what did Drupad tell Dronacharya? He said, you are not my friend, you were an acquaintance at one point of time. You are a classmate. A classmate is not necessarily your close friend. One who sits next to you, just because sitting next to you, he does not become your best friend. And Dronacharya forgot one principle, that in friendship you should never ask. And in friendship, if you ask for money, resources, when you don't have, it is guaranteed that your friendship will be destroyed. At the same time, the Niti also says, don't ask from your friend. But if you see your friend is in difficulty without he knowing, don't tell him that I'm giving a charity. Because if you tell that I'm giving a charity, he will feel hurt. This is there in the scripture. And how many friendships get destroyed because people have a great friendship, but at the wrong time they ask favor from their friends and the friendship is gone. In fact, one devotee said, I have certain resources. I keep it for my friends. In such a way, I don't give it as a loan, but I don't tell them as a charity. I said, whenever you return, you return back to me. If they don't pay, it's okay. Right? So, this understanding is very important, but Dronacharya did not understand this. And Drupad told him, give him 1 or 2 cows and forget the friendship, get out from here. When Dronacharya received such a treatment from Drupad, he was mortified. He became angry. He became so revengeful. Then what he did was, he was looking for a sponsor. He became very strong now. I want to teach. I want to teach such a royal family that they will take revenge against Drupad. That became the goal of his life. Can you imagine? That became the goal of Dronacharya's life. He went around looking for that sponsorship and eventually came to his brother-in-law's place. This is about his background, Drona's background. Because many times in the Mahabharata, the Kurukshetra war is called as Kuru Panchal war, not Kuru Pandava war. It is spoken like that also, but many times it is called as Kuru Panchal Yuddha. In the Bhagavatam, in the first canto also, the word Kuru Panchal is used. If you study the history, Mahabharata history, Brahmashva, his son was Mudgal Rishi. He became Rishi and Divodas became a Kshatriya. Just see how much there is a change in what you do. There is no such thing as caste. If you are a Kshatriya, you have to be Kshatriya only. If you are a Brahmana, you have to be Brahmana only. And Ahalya married to Gautam Muni during the time of Parshuramji. And then Shatananda Rishi was born, and Shatananda Rishi's Kripa and Kripi married to Drona. So Kripi and Kripa had the connection to Panchal family. And the Panchalas had a cold war between the Pandavas, the Kurus. The Kurus and Panchalas could never had good terms and conditions. And therefore, Bhishma was very careful about the Panchalas. So when Dronacharya was rejected by Drupad Maharaj, she was looking and he came to the place of Kripacharya because he was the brother-in-law. He was staying with him, and eventually what happened? The children were playing. All the Kurus and Pandavas were playing with a ball, a stick. And their ball fell into a well. And they couldn't bring it out. And what Dronacharya did was, he came to that place and he saw the ball was lying and all the kids were trying to remove it. They couldn't remove. He said, "What will you give me if I remove this?" That is how he began. So they said, "Whatever you want." So then what he did was, with his mantra Shakti, he took one grass. He placed it in the water. And again by mantra, he connected the next grass. In this way, one after another, he sent it and slowly pulled that ball. When they saw, they were all fascinated. Then he told them, "Go and speak to Bhishma." When they went and spoke to Bhishma about the skill what was exhibited, Bhishma realized this is Drona. And immediately Bhishmacharya came to meet him. And when he came to meet him, he said, "Why don't you teach my children?" Drona said, "I will do it, but I have an agenda." He did not hide his agenda. He spoke very clearly. "I will train these children, but on one condition, if after training them, they have to capture Drupad alive." And Bhishma was more eager for the Pandavas and Kauravas to learn. Even though he knew to newly start a new battle with the Panchal would not be good for the Kuru family, he agreed. Bhishma Dev has a character of Dasharath Maharaj, promising first without understanding the consequences. Irony of Parshuram's students. Bhishma, Kshatriya warrior, renounced kingship, became a Brahminical. Drona, a poor Brahmana, became an active warrior. And Karna died due to a curse. So Parshuram was also Brahmana. All his three students basically did not contribute to the growth of dharmic culture. And all of them, unfortunately, fought against Krishna. And what was the power of Dronacharya? This famous word, Jivagre Chaturo Veda, Karagre Sahasram Dhanuhu, Ubayod Drona Samsartyam, Shapadapi Sharabatapi. Shapadapi Sharadapi means what? That he could give curse and kill, and he could shoot arrows and kill. Nobody in the entire warrior class during those time. Even Bhishma did not had this great skill of killing through mantra and killing through weapons. You can imagine what a power Dronacharya had. Looked looked for right moment and right people, found Kurus, did not teach any dharma consciously, remained loyal to Kurus based on artha. He was only a teacher with skills, avoided dharmic spirituality. You don't find Dronacharya teaching spirituality. And the very first day, when all the Pandavas and Kurus came together, he asked this question: who amongst you will fulfill my desire? And Arjuna raised his hand. Instantly raised his hand without waiting, and Dronacharya, hugged him and he said, I will train you as a great warrior. Therefore, what happened was, Arjuna was willing to shoot at Bhishma, but he took a vow that I will not kill my teacher for whatever reason. There was such a deep attachment from Arjuna towards Dronacharya. We will discuss during his departure from this world how much Arjuna was affected by the death of Dronacharya. Arjuna's outburst was so much, he criticized Krishna, he criticized Yudhishthira Maharaj, he criticized Bhima, he criticized Drishtadyumna, and there was a conflict among the Pandavas. And what a beautiful discussion, the discussion amongst different perspectives spoken by different warriors. Bhima speaks something, Arjuna speaks something, Yudhishthira Maharaj speaks something, Satyaki speaks something, Drishtadyumna speaks something. It sounds an argument. It's an argument, no doubt, but we get to know how different people have a different perspective, and all perspective have some flavor or layer of truth in it. It is not black and white. It's a very beautiful that we will discuss. So that was Dronacharya. In education, there are 4 things: skills, values, character, and purpose. The 4 things are skills, values, character, and purpose. The modern education teaches skill and teaches some values based upon the school's values, based upon the founder's ideology, not the dharmic ideology. What does the founder thinks about what education is? What the main teacher thinks what education is. So therefore, whatever they think is education becomes their ideology. That is the value. Values are very, very, very relative in terms. It is not integrated one. Right. And character is not much discussed. Instead of character, the written values are spoken. One should be honest. One should be truthful. It's like a ritualistic mantra without a substance. Right? Because you have to do value education. Value education without character, is like a museum piece only. And what was the value and character of Dronacharya? An agenda. Agenda of using a student for his purpose. If you study a book, those who are into educational background, there is a book written by one American teacher. He talks about what was the foundational idea of education. When education was organized, people came together and they made an idea of education. And what was the idea of education? It's a very interesting book. People should read that book, which is called as Dumbing Us Down. Not dumping us down, dumbing us down. So this teacher taught 35 years in some of the best schools. Then he stopped teaching and he started his own alternative education system. And then he studied, what did I teach? What did I do with my children? When he went back and saw the belief system of education, then he realized, my God, consciously, unconsciously, whether you know it or you don't know it, the belief system has become deeply rooted in the psyche of the student and the teacher. And what is it? To create laborers, not entrepreneurs, not original thinkers. So he proves through so many statistics about why the philosophy of Darwinism was brought. There was another rival researcher in regards to what Darwin did, and his thought was there is a cooperation in the creation. And Darwin said, what is there in the creation? Might is right, survival of the fittest. So if you study the Gurukul education system, the idea, the theology behind it, the theology behind Gurukul education system is that the teacher never controlled the student. The teacher never imposed his ideas about what the child should become. A teacher never worked for somebody else other than working for the student. He created students who had the courage to explore about life. He did not make students get lost in the institution, not get lost in the teacher. He never created children who would become lost in relationships. They would grow in relationship. There is a difference between getting lost in relationship and growing in relationships. He did not create laborers. He created independent thinkers. Therefore, if you study, Brahmana means what? A Brahmana means one who fights. He's a leader in regards to fighting ignorance. What is Kshatriya means? Kshatriya means one who fights infringement. What do you think Vaishya means? Vaishya means one who fights insufficiency. And what is Shudra? Shudra means one who fights indolence. अज्ञान के साथ युद्ध करने वाले, आरक्षा के साथ युद्ध करने वाले, अभाव के साथ युद्ध करने वाले और आलस्य के साथ युद्ध करने वाले. So how can you say that one is superior to others? Officially, as a post, one may be superior. But in regards to a system, everybody has something to contribute. A barber 100 years ago, now also, did not work for anyone. He was nobody's naukar. He was an independent personality. His skill was contributing to all three classes of people, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas. When we read in the scripture, Shudras have to work for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. But what does it mean? It means his skills were utility friendly for others. A lohar, a blacksmith, nobody could purchase him. He would do whatever he could do and sell it. A farmer was an independent personality. In Varnashram, 75% of the people remained independent and less than 25% people became dependent. And the modern civilization, we talk about independence. Independence, liberality, freedom, it is all on the stage. But in reality, doctors are working, the teachers are working, the professors are working, right? There are more number of people, they work for others other than working for themselves. Just think about it. When you work for somebody else, it is but natural their ideology becomes your ideology without even questioning it internally, challenging it. Therefore, the whole purpose of education was helping the child to discover his own or her own self. When they are given that kind of training, very interesting in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the great teacher, his name is Vedanta Deshika. in his Gita commentary, when Krishna is asking this question to Arjuna, Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna, he said, my dear Lord, how do you know what is my nature? Arjuna asking this question after being a warrior for many years. He said, how do you know what is my nature? You are saying that I am a warrior, therefore I should fight. I don't want to fight. I am happy living by begging. I have this experience. Arjuna begged during the exile. They begged after the event of burning in the Lakshagra. He said, I have the background, so I will live on begging. I don't want to fight. Why should I fight with my own people? My guru, my teacher, my relatives and my grandfather. He said, I will not. He said, even if I achieve 3 planetary system, Krishna, I don't want. Api Trailokya Rajasam. He said, I will live on begging. So Arjuna was asking this question to Krishna apparently. He said, who decides? And what did Krishna say to Arjuna? He creates a discussion, a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. In that commentary, Krishna said, Arjuna, no one decides. He said, no one decides, others only support you to recognize your need, your nature. He said, anybody else decide about who you are, that means they have an agenda. They have an agenda. Whether that agenda is good or bad does not matter, but they have an agenda. So what do? They mold your personality based upon their agenda. So 1906 or 1911, when the organized education came into being, it was very clear that we want educated laborers. We don't want original thinker, because original thinker is very disruptive in the class. A classroom where everybody is sitting and one person is talking, and teacher has a rule. He writes about mass of, weapons of mass instructions, another book. Not weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass instructions. And he said, you see in school, what do you have? The rules. And what are the rules? The rules destroy the creativity of the child. We are not saying that there should not be rule. It's a combination of freedom and discipline. Only freedom creates recklessness, and only discipline creates slavery. If you see the rule, stand in line, wear that noose around the neck, whether it is summer, winter. Now when you wear dhoti, that is called as ritual. When you wear a coat in the summer season, that is called as very advanced. In India, in the summer season in Mumbai, if you wear coat and a socks and a shoes, right? Of course, people are staying in the AC thing now, but nobody thinks, like Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was supposed to go to a party. And in that party, the Bengalis, they were so influenced by British culture, many for wrong reasons also. So there was a party, and the party had rule. Nobody can come without coats and suit. So when he came there in his typical dhoti, kurta, they said, hey, you are not qualified to come here. In this party, this is the quorum. This is the dress etiquette. So he said, okay. He came back with his suit. And when the party started, when the dinner was serving, instead of eating himself, he started putting in his coat. They said, what are you doing? He said, come on, you did not invite me. You invited my coat, my suit. So I'm feeding them. So therefore, when we say that these are all blind rituals are not based upon change in your attire. People get married without knowing why they got married, and people divorce without knowing why they divorced. People drink without knowing why they drink. I went to one school in Satara many years back. And when I entered inside the 11th standard classroom, the entire classroom was stinking with a tobacco and gutka. 11th standard. So usually when you go, you'll say, hey, nahi khana chahiye, cancer hoga, ye hoga, wo hoga, you will give bhashan. So as those children said, why are you eating? बताओ ना, मैं भी खाता हूँ. If there is a valid reason. So none of them are able to speak why they are eating. The answer was, because my friend told me to eat. Similarly, why are you chanting Hare Krishna? Because my mother told me to chant. Huh? Even if it is good, you have to have your critical thinking. Why am I chanting? What if my mother stopped chanting Hare Krishna? I stop? One should follow the Mahajans, but at the same time use the logic. So the Gurukul system, the natural education system, gave children to explore. What will happen? They will fail, right? They will fail how many times? One lifetime. It's okay to fail one lifetime also, because you have many more lifetimes to come to this world. you know so therefore there is no such fear of, oh, what. But the whole thing is, instead of being confused about what you are, it is better to walk your journey, even if you have to go through one lifetime. But Dronacharya, can you imagine, he came with this agenda that I want to train my student in such a way that they will fulfill my desire. So therefore, other than Arjuna, if you study carefully, other than Arjuna, nobody contributed based upon the name of Dronacharya. Bhima learned mace fighting beyond Drona. He learned it from Balramji. Duryodhan also, he became expert. We discussed that. He went to Balramji for 3 years in Mithila and learned. What Dronacharya did was, he did teach them the basic skills, but he focused on Arjuna and he focused on his son based on attachments. Therefore, it is said, skills, values, character and purpose are in harmony, then the student experiences liberation in learning. Otherwise, learning becomes a greater bondage. Learning makes one so much narrow-minded. And I quote this, there is a very nice teacher. He has schools in Uttarakhand. He was a small industrialist, but he got into education. When he started the regular education, he asked, after a few years, he asked the mothers from the village, what do you think about your child? He is getting education from us. What do you think? And the teacher said, the mother said, आपने हमारे बच्चों को बर्बाद कर दिया. She said, you have destroyed my child. He was shocked. He said, I gave up all my industry to teach these children. And he saw invariably almost all the mothers, they were saying this among the village mother. When he came to the small, semi-urban, like a taluka place, when he asked those mothers, they said, you know what you have done with our children? आपने हमारे बच्चों को बिगाड़ दिया. The village mother said, destroyed. And the small town mother said, you spoiled them. And he sat and discussed with his team, why they are saying this. बर्बाद कर दिया, बिगाड़ दिया, बर्बाद कर दिया, बिगाड़ दिया, बर्बाद कर दिया, बिगाड़ दिया. Then they realized the need of those parents were that whatever education our children do, they should be connected to their core occupation back in their home, whether it is carpenter, whether it is goldsmith, whether it is farming. And if someone is exceptionally good, he goes beyond that, becomes a doctor, engineer, that's okay. But if they are not connected to their core occupation, one time, I tell this story many places, one devotee's sister was in this school and Abdul Kalam ji had come. And he was giving a talk to the 9th standard children. And in his speech, he spoke about we need to create scientists, we need to create engineers, we need to create doctors. And one child stood up and he asked, what about farmer, sir? Abdul Kalam called him because he was not a politician. He was a learner as he was growing also. he made him sit next to him. And he drove along with him to the airport, saying that, you taught me a lesson. So, when there is a overemphasis based upon the need of the market, you get laborers but not people. Right. So, Dronacharya did not train everybody. And it is not that Arjuna was learning only from Drona. Before that, for 13 years when Arjuna was living in the forest, he learned from one retired king. For 12 years he taught him. About 8 years he taught him. After that, Arjuna went to Lord Shiva, he got Pashupatastra. He went to Indra, there he got so many weapons. He learned from Agni, he learned from Kuber, he learned from Yama. He was adding more and more skill, adding more and more skills. But because he was such a refined personality, all the time he was giving credit to Dronacharya. So, when Arjuna, of course Arjuna proved, can you imagine, after the exhibition match was completed, in the exhibition match Arjuna proved his skills and Karna came and he also showed his skills. One should know very clearly in the Mahabharata, it is made very clear that Karna learned from Dronacharya. Only when he did not receive the Brahmastra, he went to Parshuramji. So the battle was going on. In the battle, at one point of time, Bhima realized that my teacher is destroying everybody. So then Bhima went to him and he blasted Dronacharya. But it didn't work out. Meanwhile, Krishna came to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, my dear Yudhishthira, this person cannot be stopped. Because if you want to win the war against the adharmic people, then the rule is not about, no, there are a lot of these ethical dilemmas. There are people who have done so many research, taking it to such a level of discussion, sitting in their armchair, this could have been done, that could have been done, but actually, or you are on the battleground, the ethics work differently. No? So the Pandavas are saying, Dronacharya has become brutal. You know how many people he was killing on that day? On the day when he was killed? 15,000, 20,000, 18,000. He was brutally murdering everybody. He killed Drupad. He killed Virat. He killed Drupada's brothers. Everybody was slaughtered by him. So Krishna came to Yudhishthira. Now this is very interesting. I will tell that part of the story today only, not when Yudhishthira came to Dronacharya and Dronacharya said, look, I am the servant of Artha, I am not servant of Dharma. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, as a personal relationship, he took blessings from them. But as a king, Yudhishthira Maharaj also another question to both Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya and Shalya. As a king and as a person he offered his obeisances, but as a king he asked this question to Drona. Very interesting. What has happened, we only talk about, just see how Yudhishthira Maharaj followed the etiquette. Even though his guru was on the other side, he still took his blessings. That he did as a person, genuinely did. But as a king, he asked this question to Dronacharya, how may I kill you? Nobody talks about this. He asked this to Bhishma also, how may we kill you? Because unless we kill you, we will not win. He took his blessings, but as a king asked this question, how may I kill you? And Krishna was standing there, hearing every word. No? Yudhishthira Maharaj forgot, but Krishna did not forget. Being alert. So Dronacharya said, oh my dear son, I am Avhad. Mujhe koi maar nahi sakta. Nobody can kill me. But only when someone tells me the news of someone who's very, very close to me, his departure from this world, then I will drop my weapons. युधिष्ठिर महाराज भूल गए इसको. But Krishna did not forget. Therefore, politically alert is very important. So Krishna came to Yudhishthir. He said, my dear Yudhishthir, you know what? He said, only one way to stop Dronacharya is to tell him that your son is dead. Ashwathama is dead. Because Dronacharya is actually as he is compared to Dhritarashtra only in his Putra Moha. He did everything for Ashwathama. He gave divine weapons to Arjuna. Can you imagine as a teacher, when you would send all the students to practice, Ashwathama would be back with his father and you would give him a special class. And Arjuna realized. In fact, they would go to collect water and Ashwathama's water container, the lid was bigger so that the water could be collected faster. When the students would come before, Ashwathama would come before them and Dronacharya would teach him something. Arjuna realized this. I said, मेरे गुरु मेरे साथ cheating कर रहे हैं. But he didn't say that you are cheating. He wanted to be there because Arjuna loved his teacher blindly. So when Drona sent them to collect something, what Arjuna did? He stood there only, used his Varunastra, brought all the water there only. So Drona was fascinated with Arjuna. He said, okay, I'm going to teach you also. And eventually Drona realized the power of Arjuna and he gave him Brahmastra. Ashwatthama said, I'm your son. मुझे भी मिलना चाहिए. Drona said, I can't give you because you are not tapasvi brahmana. He said, no, I want it. You have to give it to me. So what happened? Drona, just like Dhritarashtra handed over the kingdom to Drona with Duryodhan, history repeats. When an inefficient, unqualified person takes the company or the president of a political party, what happens? They start losing. If not today, tomorrow. Because inefficiency is not sufficient to take over something. So Ashwathama forced Dronacharya. And Dronacharya knew I should not give. But Putra Moha became so strong. He said, look beta, I will give you Brahmastra but on one condition. I will only teach you how to release but not how to withdraw. That is worst. If you send your person in a field, he knows how to give a speech, but he doesn't know how to adjust after speaking wrongly. Recently there was a debate between a real politician and an actor. No, because I know recently one of our devotee had invited me for he's launching a movie. There is a big difference between acting in the movie and acting in the drama. In drama, there are no cuts. If you cut, then you get pattar. When you start making your words, your script, it has to be real because you are publicly displaying. But in movies, you can take hundreds of cuts. Right? So therefore, actually acting, the whole concept of dramatization has been destroyed by, this whole filming concept. I was talking to in one village in North Karnataka. He said all the festivals, Jatra, whatever Jatra would happen, he said the purpose of Jatra was Pauranic dramas. People do their puja, but most important thing was, transformation was dramas. He said, this man is about 60-year-old. He said, Prabhuji, what dramas I have seen. He said, one of the dramatists challenged one of the greatest actor of the South India. He said, come here. Let us act together. He didn't come. Because he is acting in the film. Great actor. But acting in the drama is completely different. So, when you tell story, he said exaggeration. He said, you are so good when you would spit. He had the power to bring it back. He would act like that. When you would see his acting drama, he said instantly would change the emotions. आपको रुलाते थे और बाद में तुरंत हंसाने लगते थे. He said, कहाँ गए वैसे ड्रामा? He said, those dramas have gone. So why did I come to drama now? Dronacharya is confusing me a little bit. Huh? Yeah, politician and actor. Right, because a politician who is educated, he has gone, he's like Bhishmacharya. Somebody said it was a debate between a rat and a lion. No, because in a debate you don't have a script, you have to speak. No, so Bhima, he condemns Drona, and then Krishna. So Krishna comes to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Yudhishthira Maharaj, first time in his life, he kind of agreed. He contemplated and agreed. And what do you think Arjuna's response? Arjuna said, you can't do this. He said, can't do this. Because Arjuna, in one sense, he had lost in Dronacharya. Can you imagine Arjuna forgave? Actually, when we do Arjuna, whenever I do, it will take 7 days. Only Arjuna's character. Because there is in the Mahabharata, it is there in the Jaimini Bharat, it is there in the Bhagavatam, because Arjuna is not different from Krishna. And one interesting point, that's therefore I want to be focused. So Arjuna, you never find other than Bhagavad Gita being emotional about Krishna. But Krishna is so emotional about Arjuna. Krishna glorifies Arjuna more than Arjuna glorifies Krishna. Very interesting. So Arjuna said no. Immediately said no. So Krishna told Yudhishthira, we have to do. When Bhima heard that, he said, don't worry, Krishna, I will do it. He told his brother, you don't have to say, Ashwatthama is dead. I actually will kill Ashwatthama. There was an elephant of their own army, Pandava's army. And the elephant's name was Ashwatthama. And instantly Bhima went and he slaughtered that elephant. And he went to Drona. He didn't come back to Yudhishthira. He went to Drona. He said, Ashwatthama is dead. When Dronacharya heard that, it was a lie coming from Bhima. And plus, Ashwatthama was supposed to be immortal. Chiranjeev. Chiranjeev means long life. But when there is an attachment, you start believing. आसक्ति आपके बच्चों के क्षमता को नष्ट कर देता है. Very interesting and very important. Drona, in information, he knew that my son is immortal. But in his attachment, he became so much conscious of protecting him. ममता और आसक्ति आपके बच्चों के साहस को नष्ट कर देता है. You start thinking that my child is useless. Therefore, somebody said, out of 13 communication with the child, 14, 12 are negative, 1 is positive, 1 is neutral. I remember one boy was telling me, he said, Prabhuji, I won the prize. When I took home, my father said, काय खरीदी करून आणलास का दुकानात? So the father said, did you purchase it from the shop? He felt so bad. He said, I won this. What you will won? I know very well. We don't realize branding children, even their good qualities seen from a negative perspective only. And therefore the parents are the one minimize the capacity of their children. So Drona, consciously or unconsciously, he agreed to what Bhima said, that my son is dead. Instantly, he lost interest in battling. But then again, he started fighting more brutal because he realized, अभी तो मुझे मरना ही है. Remember we discussed, now I have to die only. Then he became more brutal. In that statement after Bhima, he killed about 40,000 soldiers. No, इतना हम मक्खी भी नहीं मारते भारत में. No. 40,000 soldiers he killed. And then after that, it is not that instantly Yudhishthira Maharaj told, there is a journey. Then the Saptarishis came. Gautama, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Agastya, they all came to Dronacharya. He said, Dron, what are you doing? You are a Brahmana. You are not supposed to do what you are doing. Battle is not your responsibility. You are a Brahmana. You are supposed to teach the Vedas. You have to learn the Vedas. You have to spread the Vedic knowledge. Stop it. You have fought enough. You come back now. Drona heard them. He became more indifferent to the war. But because there was such a huge passion, he continued to battle and killed more soldiers. Then he came to Yudhishthira Maharaj, knowing very well that Yudhishthira Maharaj will never lie. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the gambling match, did change. We will discuss that on the last day. When Dronacharya came to him, usually how do we tell the story? We tell the story, Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke, Ashwatthama Hatova. Right. And when you say Kunjarova, they say Krishna blew the conch. He told everybody to blow the drums so that nobody can hear. It is not the Mahabharat story. It is the story of the speaker to make it more masaladar. Krishna did not say anything because the responsibility lies with Drona, with Yudhishthira Maharaj only. What Yudhishthira Maharaj did was, he spoke loudly about the death of Ashwatthama, but the elephant spoke very slowly only to hear himself, to convince himself that I did not speak the lie. अपने आप को सांत्वना देने के लिए कि मैंने झूठ नहीं बोला. I only spoke the truth because he was habituated to speak the truth. So he spoke like that. But the point is, the effect is important. What you said is not important. उसका परिणाम क्या हो जाता है? Parinam was the consequences that Drona was convinced that my son is dead. He continued fighting. Immediately it didn't happen. Then he became more despondent, more unhappy, more detached, but again he kept on fighting. Then Bhima came. Bhima came to his guru, his teacher, and he blasted him. So Bhima is different from, he was also Dronacharya's student only. It is not that Bhima was taking revenge what he had done in the childhood. Some teachers are, they can cause trouble to you. So Bhima, ab bhi mujhe chance mila, abhi lekh leta hu. So Bhima said, you are a Brahmana. Your job is to, just teach. Yajan, Patan, Dan, Pratigraha. And you are fighting. He said, because of you, millions of Kshatriyas been slaughtered. Because of you, indiscriminately you killed everybody. Are you not ashamed? You don't have any shame that your son is dead and still you are fighting. How much are you attached because of your son? All this thing happened because of your putra moha. Or a putra tumhara mar gaya, he is dead and you are still fighting. It is not only Yudhishthira Maharaj's lie. It is not only the death of elephant. It is not only the sages. It is the combination of everything. When Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke the lie, the chariot came down. Because till then Yudhishthira Maharaj had never spoken the lie. And therefore his chariot would always fly 2 inches above the ground. But the point is, that is a fascinating concept. Chariot is flying above the ground. But in practically it was not contributing to the Pandavas' victory. राइट पीपल आर उसका पहले रथ ऊपर उड़ता था बाद में नीचे आ गया. ऊपर या नीचे उससे फर्क क्या पड़ता है? Is it actually transforming in the welfare of the people? How much we get fascinated on something which has no real value. यूटिलिटी कहा था भगवान को, तुम्हारा रथ हवा में चलता है उसे कोई लेना देना नहीं. If it is benefiting the Pandava army, then even it is goes in the ground doesn't matter. Right? So it came down, the chariot came down. And a very interesting point, Yudhishthir had to take the responsibility of a lie and he had to experience hellish planet. He didn't ask this question to Krishna, Krishna मैं तेरे लिए झूठ बोला फिर भी? Devotional service is not putting responsibility on Krishna for your action. Bhagavatam explains that a devotee's conviction is not destroyed during the creation of the universe or the destruction of the universe. And if you take symbolically for us, many things get destroyed because of practicing devotional service. Your dignity sometime goes away. आपके बाल भी निकल जाते हैं. Right? Many of your passion goes away. That's a destruction only. Right? Whether in creation or destruction, if you are performing your devotional service based upon this circumstantial situation, that you are actually not a devotee only. You are still using Krishna as your, crutch or a shelter. One cannot be, it is not possible only if you are poverty stricken, you don't have anything, no buddhi, no artha, no resources, and you go to Krishna and say, Krishna, na dhanam na janam, is impossible hai. क्यों? क्योंकि the nature of human being is to have something. अपने अहंकार को बचाने के लिए उसके पास कुछ तो होना चाहिए. Therefore Arjuna told Krishna, Krishna, I don't want anything from you. I don't want your army. I want you. Why Arjuna wanted Krishna? He said, I will fight. I have the resources, but I want your relationship. इसलिए व्यक्ति को अपने आप में समर्थ बनना, जितना हम समर्थ बनेंगे उतना uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service we can perform. It's a simple logic. Therefore Ramdas Swami, he told his devotees, Samarth Ramdas bano, Shand Ramdas mat bano. A Samarth Ramdas is always contributing in the service of Lord Ram. And a Samarth Ramdas becomes burden of the Lord. Krishna will take the burden, no doubt. But are we supposed to be a burden to the Lord? We are not supposed to be a burden to the Lord. Therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj had no problem experiencing hell. We have the problem. How could he go to hell? He has no problem. That is what when Yamadharma and Indra told him, he said, why am I here? And they said, because you lied against your Guru, therefore you are here. He said, okay. He moved on with his life. He did not make millions of questions, millions of understanding. Mere saath aisa kyun ho gaya? Why this happened to me? Why this happened to me? Why this happened to me? Just see, that is therefore what the Shastra says, a devotee says, whether I'm in a hellish situation or heavenly planet. It's not simply a poetry. Sometime you have to go through that also. Otherwise, what is the point in only speaking this? So Yudhishthira Maharaj proved his caliber of not blaming Krishna. I will speak on your behalf, Krishna. No, you are speaking on your behalf only because it's your job to perform my service. So he spoke that lie, and then Bhima spoke very heavily. After the death of your son also you are not stopping. You did all of this thing because of your attachment to your son. Now at least stop. So then Dronacharya stopped fighting. After sitting down, what Drona did? After all, because he was a Brahmana. We discussed this. However, someone exhibit their circumstantial limitation, at the end of the day, every living entity has this potential of full of knowledge, full of bliss and full of eternality. Therefore, in the Bhagavatam 7th canto, when Hiranyakashipu was killed, many people offered different kinds of prayers. The Vaikuntha Dusas, when they saw Hiranyakashipu, what did they say? They said, Krishna, after all, he is your Parshad. Krishna punished Hiranyakashipu for his physical offenses. But ultimately, who was Hiranyakashipu? He is a potentially Jiva only. Similarly, when Ravana was killed by Ram, what did Ram tell Vibhishan? He said, perform the last rites. He didn't say, let him rot forever. No final rites for him. That's the beauty. Dronacharya was separated from his attachment. He sat there, and what did he do? He remembered Lord Vishnu. He started chanting the Omkar mantra. He invoked the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he sat there, now this story is narrated by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. He is narrating this story. As he was narrating the story, he said, my dear master, there was an amazing episode happened. When Dronacharya was sitting there, he had already departed from this world. The body was there, but his Jyoti, he became evolved instantly because the sadhana was there every day being a Brahmana. He did not act as a Brahmana in regards to public, but privately was still doing all his puja, Sandhya Vandan, chanting the names of God, sab kuch kar raha tha. He sat there, instantly was meditating, his soul departed from the body. And who saw that? Sanjay says, my dear Dhritarashtra, nobody saw that except Krishna, Yudhishthir, myself, Arjuna, and the sages. Nobody could saw other than this. I was very fortunate to see this transformation of Dronacharya. And then Ashwathama, because he was born. Can you imagine? You are born to kill. Ashwathama's father Drupad, to take revenge against Dronacharya, because Drona, being obsessed with having a friendship of Drupada, made Arjuna capture Drupad, brought him at the feet of Dronacharya. Dronacharya said, now I give half of the kingdom to you, half belongs to you, half belongs to me. Now we are equal, therefore we can be friends. Can you accept my friendship? As a Brahmana, after getting that resource, he was able to forgive. But Drupad could not forgive. He wanted 2 children. One to marry Arjun. One of the great quality of Arjuna was to create fascination amongst his enemies. The enemies would be fascinated by Arjuna. So Drupad was captured by Arjuna, defeated by Arjuna. But what is he praying? He is praying that I want a daughter who will marry Arjun. And I want a son who will kill Dronacharya. So Drishtadyumna had come only purpose of his life. In the Pandava army, not everybody was fighting on behalf of Krishna for establishing dharma. Everybody had different agendas. Ghatotkacha was fighting only because he was a relative of the Pandavas. Shikandi was fighting on behalf of the Pandavas only with the agenda of 2 lifetime agenda to destroy Bhishma. And all these members came in the Drupada's family. One killed Bhishma and one killed Dronacharya. Right. So he slaughtered Drona's body. He did not kill, only removed. But even the body of a teacher has to be respected. He cut off his head. And threw the head of Drona in the place where Duryodhana's brothers were there. And when Drishtadyumna was running with his weapon to kill, Arjuna was screaming and shouting. He said, you defeat him, but don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. It was too late. Drishtadyumna removed his head and threw it, and Bhima went and embraced Drishtadyumna. And he said, my dear Drishtadyumna, when Arjuna kills Karna and when I kill Duryodhana, again I will give this hug. So Bhima was celebrating. So when the news reached Ashwathama about the death of his father and the way Drishtadyumna treated, he became extremely angry. And he told Duryodhana, today I will destroy the entire Pandava army. I have the weapon which no one has. I have the Narayanastra, and Narayanastra is so powerful Today, everybody will be killed. He declared it, and instantly the news reached without any WhatsApp, without any Facebook. He spoke this, and the news came to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He saw the running soldiers of the Kuru army as they were running back to their camp. They were running back with great enthusiasm. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Arjun, why this is happening, Arjun? Why they are coming back? I don't see this kind of enthusiasm after death of Dronacharya. What happened? So Arjuna took this opportunity to blast Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, my dear king, he said, because of your sensuality, because of your small-mindedness, because you want this kingdom, you perform such an obnoxious act of killing your guru. You are entitled for hellish planet. And he started glorifying Ashwathama's power. And he said, how could you do this, Yudhishthir? He said, previously, that Ram did the same thing as you have done. Ram did against Vali. Arjuna is speaking about the very Ram who's sitting on his chariot. Is speaking this. Therefore, we were discussing on the first day, Dhwani. What is the Dhwani? Does Arjuna actually condemn? It is a circumstantial. Because of his great affection for his teacher, this outburst is happening. And if Krishna was an ordinary teacher, what would you do? He would condemn Arjun for performing the greatest aparad. It is not Vaishnava aparad. It is Bhagwan aparad. And who is doing that Bhagwan aparad? The very dear friend. You read, it's there in the Mahabharata. And Yudhishthira Maharaj becomes so despondent because that's his nature. He said, oh, I did such a bad thing. When Bhima heard it, Bhima said, Arjun, how can you do this? How can you not praise Drishtadyumna for what he has done? You are praising our teacher. How can you praise him? He said, you are praising this Ashwathama. He is not even equal to you 1/16 of the time. He said, don't falsely praise him. He said, if you are attached to your guru, it's okay, but don't condemn yourself. Don't praise that boy. He said, if you don't want to fight, I will show my power to this Ashwathama. What can he do to me? So then, when Bhima was speaking like this, then Satyaki is a great friend of Arjun. He also studied in Dronacharya's place, but Arjuna taught Satyaki. Because teach one, learn one, like that. So he said, hey Bhima and Drishtadyumna, because Drishtadyumna chastised Arjun. He said, hey Arjun, you killed Bhurishrava. What is that? You killed Bhishma. What is that? So Satyaki came to defend Arjun. He said, hey Drishtadyumna, said, beware what you are talking. He said, I will slaughter you instantly. He said, don't speak about our Guru. Don't speak about my Param Guru. You are speaking all this. You are a student of our teacher and you have done this, such an abominable activities. You deserve a death penalty. Satyaki is speaking to Drishtadyumna, and just an hour before, when Drishtadyumna was about to be killed by Drona, Satyaki had attacked Dronacharya to protect Drishtadyumna. No. So therefore, a Kshatriya's words, when they speak in outbursts, that cannot become a historical reality. It's an emotional reality. Therefore, Dhwani has to be seen. So then, Satyaki came to attack Drishtadyumna. And Drishtadyumna said, you are talking about dharma. My dear brother, my dear friend, what did Dronacharya do? He was supposed to be a Brahmana teaching, but he was slaughtering. He slaughtered Abhimanyu. He slaughtered our army. What he has done to us, he has only caused so much a problem to us. And Drishtadyumna said, it is very difficult to understand what dharma is. Dharma is extremely subtle. So therefore, when you see this as a war between all the Pandavas, you see it as a war. But if you see it as a different perspective, A reality has a different perspective. Reality is never black and white. It is not 0 to 1. The modern education system, the superficial religions, what do they teach you? They teach you this is right and this is wrong. In the Vedic literature, the dharma, or if you want to call it as a justice, dharma is not synonymous justice. The justice is not a rule centric alone. A justice is a narrative centric. It is based upon narration. A rule centric means what? You did this, that is wrong. You killed, therefore it is wrong. No. A killing could be a dharma and saving could be a adharma. Therefore, narrative means what? Time, place, circumstances, situation. The difference is, in the modern context, they ask you what you did. In the Vedic concept, they ask you why you did. बहुत बड़ा अंतर है. A big gap. Big gap. Therefore, Manu, in Manu Samhita, he talks about punishing the person whose home was robbed instead of punishing the robber. A context centric hai. He says a poor person where his son or a daughter is suffering from health, about to die, and a person who has the resources not giving a charity, when you rob him, who is responsible for him to become a robber? The person who had the resources. Therefore, punish him. Therefore, a context centric. Laws are there, but laws are not based only upon what you did. It is based upon why you did. Therefore, giving justice is not black and white. It has got so many layers of reality. When we say this is right, this is wrong, that concept itself is very wrong. Therefore, Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ye bhala, ye manda, bhadra and abhadra, the seeing of this is right, this is wrong, itself is completely wrong. It's a beautiful dialogue. It's a discussion, but presented in a way which sounds like there is a conflict between the Pandavas. And eventually Krishna allowed them to express, have their outburst, did not condemn Drishtadyumna, did not condemn Arjuna, did not become self-centric. I did so much to Arjuna, entire life I did for him, and then is condemning my previous activity which I did against Vali, comparing that to Yudhishthira Maharaj lying towards Dronacharya. He could have gone to a psychiatrist. If Krishna was like a jealous god, a dictatorial god. Right. Therefore he told Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke Arjuna, hell with your Gandiva bow. When we discuss Arjuna, we can tell that story. When Arjuna heard that Yudhishthira Maharaj telling me, hell with my Gandiva bow, not only that he said, my mother should have aborted you when you were in the 5th month. Arjuna did not mind that. When he said, throw your Gandiva bow in a garbage can, Arjuna went to kill Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna said, whom are you killing? He said, I don't see any enemies of yours. I see only well-wisher. And there Krishna tells Arjuna, he said, Arjuna, you only heard the statement. You didn't hear him. आपने शब्दों को सुना, लेकिन उनको नहीं सुना. It's a beautiful. Another perspective is that Dronacharya, even after the death, because of his materialistic agenda, he created a conflict among the Pandavas which had never happened before, to such an extent where they were willing to kill each other. Therefore, one Sri Vaishnava Acharya says, when you are split like this, when your loyalty is split, your body's loyalty is with the adharma and your soul's loyalty with dharma, it should be integrated. Therefore, what happened was, his body was disrespected. It was thrown here and there. Even though, like a respectable personality, a great teacher, how do we treat? We make a temple of it. Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir. You go and worship there every day. Because even their body becomes worshipable. But Dronacharya, unfortunately, because of his attachment and agenda, did not get that opportunity. It was thrown, catching a shikha of a Brahmana. You can imagine catching a shikha of a Brahmana and cutting his head and throwing was a great offense from a rule perspective. But from the narrative perspective, the Pandavas, you know, they got to see so many different perspectives. And in this way, Krishna pacified them. And he told Yudhishthira Maharaj, don't worry. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj again said, now Narayanastra we can't face. Better we live. He said, bye-bye, I'm going now, I'll go and take sannyas. He said, everybody go to their home. He said, sorry for the battle, I'm responsible for this war. Whoever is living, they can go back and connect to their family members, I'm going. Krishna said, don't worry, wait. Because ultimately, who's Narayanastra? It's his only. Right? So, Ashwathama's desire to kill the Pandavas and the entire army did not fructify because Krishna knows different kinds of weapons. One is Jhutastra. Here the humble astra. He said, now everybody bow down. Only way Narayanastra can be retaliated is not to retaliate it. Gandhi should have read Mahabharata. When to bow down, when not to bow down. Bow down also should be beneficial to the person who is bowing down. If you bow down and somebody chops your head, what is the point? So Krishna said, everybody bow down. Now Bhima was mad because of all this conflict. He told Arjun, look Arjun. Meanwhile, Arjuna became again normal. When Bhima said, I will not bow down. I am a Kshatriya. The original Maratha spirit came from Bhima only. Marenge lekin jhukenge nahi. So, what he did was, Krishna said, everybody leave their weapons. On the battleground for a Kshatriya, to drop his weapons and fall flat is impossible. Uska ahankar, his ego will never allow him to do it. Many times business people lose all their money because they cannot accept that I can lose. Therefore, they choose to become so stupid, egoistic, and they take more than what they can handle. They don't lose money and business because they are not intelligent. They lose their money and business because their ego. It is not easy. You can imagine everyone on the battlefield, including Krishna. It is his own weapon because he came to perform this human pastime, even though he's not human, he's not ordinary. Everybody was lying. Bhima said, no, I am not going to lie down. He told Arjuna, Arjun cannot put down your Gandiva weapon. Arjuna said, for 3 people. Cows, Brahmanas and those who have taken shelter. And for Narayanastra, I have no hesitation to offer obeisances. And the Narayanastra was, concentrating on Bhim. Because everybody is lying down there. So Arjuna released the Varunastra for painkiller, like a painkiller. Before the surgery, you need a painkiller. But painkiller does not heal you. So Arjuna brought him down with great force. Bhima fell on the ground. Krishna and Arjuna and the Narayanastra went away. And then Duryodhana said, release it once again. So Ashwathama, because he was a Brahman, he said, just see what I have done to them. Everybody has bowed down. They have lost their ego. And killing ego is greater than killing them. Duryodhana said, stupid, stop it. I don't want their ego to be killed. Because I am not in the ashram. I am in the kingdom. In the ashram, your ego has to be killed. On the battlefield, your body has to be killed. So in this way, Krishna, he sailed the Pandavas by watching, by observing, by not stopping. Wherever he had to take part, he would take part. And wherever he did not had to take part, He had the full detachment. He was not like an expert driver sitting to a regular driver, ordinary new driver. They get interfere, everywhere. Abhi aisa chalao, abhi aisa mat kar. Huh. Krishna can do that, but he waits, he watches, allows them. So in this way, Dronacharya's life, 2 hours is too less to discuss about Dronacharya. We didn't discuss so many things. When I do Arjuna's seminar, the entire education system, Eklavya, Karna, exhibition match, because already we are lagging one topic behind. And I wanted to stop at 9 o'clock. We'll stop here, and tomorrow we'll take the greatest of the hero of India, Karna. No? Not the Mahabharata hero. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
RG Media YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe. RG Media YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe.